Hello YouTube, Droid Freak here, and welcome to FreakCraft SMP episode 4. And this episode is going to have a lot of big news and a big project, so get yourself ready. First bit of big news is that I created a mod pack for use on the server, so we are now running some mods. Before you get all indignant on me and be like, why do you no play vanilla? I'm trying to keep it basically like vanilla survival, except like better, basically. So what you just saw there was a mod called the Tree Capitator mod, which simply allows you to chop down trees by cutting at the base. And of course, my axe broke and the top of the tree is still there. I will come back for that, but not while I'm recording. Anyways, basically what the Tree Capitator mod allows you to do is to chop down the entire tree by chopping the base of the tree. When you're using an axe, that is. You can't do it with your hands. And no, it will not allow people to chop down giant trees like this. That's not how the mod works. In any case, let me show you some other bit of news. While I'm in the park here, we made this tree a lot taller. It goes up to above 200 blocks now, so it's really getting close to sky limit. It's not loading right now, but take my word for it, it goes up basically the same, almost up to sky limit. Back to the mod pack. We also have a microblock mod called MitiS microblocks. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. So I can, for instance, make obsidian slabs. I do not like how the hacksaw flies out of your inventory. But yeah, you can make various things with this. So I've already put this to use, and I'll show you that soon. I'm curious, can you... Nope, it is as hard as obsidian. Okay. Good to know. Because from what I've seen, microblocks, like the breaking of microblocks is a little bit different from breaking of vanilla blocks, but might just be something in the mod that might get fixed. I don't know, we'll see. Another mod that I have is the damage indicators mod, which I could show off if there were any mobs around, which there are not. You'll probably see it at some point. Basically, it shows me the health of any mobs that I look at, and it shows me like the damage as little numbers coming off their heads. So, moving on, those are basically the major mods that we have. We also have Optifine, but I am not actually running Optifine right now, which is why I'm so fogged up here. The reason being that Optifine interferes with the microblock placement and the hacksaw texture too. For some strange reason, but yeah, does that. By the way, this here is an Industrial Smelter 2.0. Some of you might have seen that video. If you have not, you should definitely check it out. Basically, you put items to be smelted in there, fuel in there, and out comes your output. So you can see I've putting this thing to good use. This isn't all for sure. I've been smelting lots of stuff in this. It's very nice. It's 16 furnaces, so it's super fast, super silent, completely silent, and very efficient. And that hoe in there is completely to be ignored. Anyways, this, just no. Not even gonna go there. So, this is a little micro farm that I made, nothing too special there. This is another building that I'm working on. I'm gonna have to turn up my render distance, even if it starts to drop the frames a little bit, but I gotta see. Here's another building I've been working on in the city. This one is sort of nice and square with patterns on it and stuff. It's pretty nice looking. This is another building that I made, which is a little more, let's say it adds a little more character to the city. And this building, I'm actually started converting to use microblocks. So you can see this is definitely not a vanilla staircase right here. I originally used like regular sandstone stairs there, but with microblocks I can create smooth sandstone stairs and add these extra little supports underneath so it looks all nice and diagonal up there. It's very nice looking. Also, if I head up a little ways, you'll see that near the bottom I used a combination of glass blocks and glass panes, so on the inside it looks kind of odd. But if we go up higher, because I started converting it from the top, you can see that instead of the glass blocks I use these glass micro blocks, which I can actually break with my hand and get back. That's one of the weird things about the microblocks mod, that I can break these glass microblocks and get them back. But in any case, these things basically look like glass panes, but I can place them at the edge of a full block, so they basically mesh with the pattern that I was going for here, the whole pyramid type thing. So that's these are a couple good uses of microblocks. I'm going to be putting them to more good uses at the end of this episode, well, in the second part of this episode, when I get to actually building stuff. So I'll get myself out of this building. Here's some buildings that other people have been working on. This has currently been spleefed. That is not a spleef arena, but it has been spleefed. Here's another tower that is also being spleefed at the moment. Basically, I'm cutting out all the sand and sandstone from under some buildings and like putting it back over the top, basically. So this just has a layer of sand and a layer of cobble underneath it. Here are some more nice buildings. We got this thing. I don't know what to call that thing. But yeah, you can see down here I've cleared out a lot of area. This is not even the area in the middle that I cleared out last episode. That, as I mentioned in that episode, has become a monster farm. This is just area that I've been cleaning out to get more sand and sandstone for building, basically. And over here you can see another thing that I've built. There's actually, some of you might know this, I was actually planning to make an episode for previously, like about a week ago, but I never really got around to editing it. So this is what I was going to build in that episode. Why can't I hear anything? Let me try turning up my headset volume. Can I hear things? I don't know. I can't get in there. It's because I made it so that I can't fall out of there. There we go. Okay, so this is a spleef arena that I made with a... I did not put that cactus there. Trust me, I did not put that cactus there. But this is a spleef arena that uses mushroom blocks, because mushroom blocks can be easily grown from mushrooms, obviously, and they're extremely easy to break. If you have an iron axe, you can insta-break them. So it makes for very interesting spleef games. But that didn't make for that interesting of an episode overall, and I just never got around to editing it. So this episode should hopefully be more interesting. Besides the mod pack and the building, we've also had a few new players join, one of whom is Silver Firefly, who's actually my sister in real life. So, bit of information there. It's my sister. And I'm not going to show you anyone's bases today, though people have obviously been working on their bases. It's been a few weeks, I think, since the last video. But I'm not going to show you that this video. I'm going to get right down to what I would like to do in this video. And I'll make a cut to when I'm at my base so I can show you that. One quick note that I forgot to mention earlier. When we upgraded to the mod pack, or actually a few days earlier, we upgraded to 1.6 as well. So I got myself some horses and a donkey. And that's all cool. So yeah, you probably didn't realize that by the fact that we had a coal block there, but just so you know, we did upgrade to 1.6. We got all the new features, including the horses. We're actually in 1.6.2 to be exact. Okay. And my sound is still really low for me. Not sure why that is. Like I can't hear anything. Something is up with my sound. That is pretty messed up. Okay. Not a big deal. You probably won't be able to hear my sound either, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I'll see when I edit the video. So, in this chest, there are a bunch of awesome materials that I gathered. Well, some of this is actually snow, but most of these are pretty difficult materials to gather. I've got clay, hardened clay, lots of hardened clay, snow, wool, that's not that hard to get. More clay. I have a lot of quartz blocks. A lot of these white blocks are blocks of quartz. More hardened clay, more clay. Yeah, basically lots of clay and quartz mostly. And if you know about those materials, they're fairly difficult to gather. Quartz requires you traveling through the nether to gather it, and clay requires you traveling underwater to get it. So I've been going on some big expeditions to gather this stuff. I've also gathered some... Where am I looking? Oh, that used to be the coal chest, but then coal blocks got added, and I put the coal in this chest. So yeah, I've got some coal blocks that I think I'm also going to use in building, because they look like shadows, I noticed. So I think I'll implement them into my builds to make it look like shadows, basically. I mean, I could use actual shadows to look like shadows, but who does that? Anyways, on to what I want to do with this stuff. I mentioned previously that I want to take this jungle and turn it into the planet of Kashyyyk from Star Wars, with its gigantic trees. Well, I picked another Star Wars planet that I'd like to build, the planet Kamino, which is actually featured in episode 2 and 3, I think? Not sure about 3. Definitely in episode 2. It's the water world with those huge stilt cities on it. Or actually only one city that was shown, I think. But yeah. So I want to build that. I'm in the upper right corner of the map, by the way. That's where my jungle is. And I want to build it in that big ocean on the left side of the map. So the one that I'm pointing at right now. I'd like to build Kamino in that big ocean. And I'm going to build it using cyan stained clay, primarily. So this stuff, because it's basically a nice gray color. I think I'm going to add in, well, I'm going to use quartz for the interior, because if you have watched Star Wars Episode 2, the interior of Kamino's buildings is in quartz, or is white, rather. That's what I meant to say. It's white, very clean, white looking, rather like quartz. And I don't remember whether it was blue or light blue stained clay that I wanted to use to accent it. I think blue, probably. It's actually more purple colored. I've noticed that about stained clay, that they always tend to be more orange than their alternative. More orange than their color usually would be, because hardened clay is orange, basically. So yeah, this ended up cyan stain, or blue stained clay ends up being more purplish, but I think this will make a good accent to the exterior, and to accent the interior, I'm not sure. I'll throw in some of these colors probably to accent it. We'll see. I definitely want to use very clean looking blocks for this, because Kamino is an impeccably clean city. I forgot what the name of the capital city is. But it is a very clean looking city. Their architecture is pretty cool looking, in my opinion. So I'd like to, recreate that in Minecraft. So that's going to be a huge project, and going to, I think, cut to a time lapse of me starting that build. Here we go.